Age is a tricky thing. We can look at one person and think they're young, and at another person exactly the same age and pin them as much older. A variety of factors can influence this, anything from what we know about the person, how they carry themselves, and simply genetics can all influence how we perceive a person's age. But it's especially disconcerting when we see celebrities we all know and love and discover that despite what we might have thought, they're actually much younger or older than we originally estimated. Let's take a look at some interesting pairings of celebrities that we'd never guess are around the same age. Number 1, Maisie Williams and Bella Hadid. We all know Maisie Williams from HBO's Game of Thrones, where she played the young Arya Stark. Perhaps it's because we've spent 8 seasons watching her grow, starting out as a very young girl, that she still seems like a girl to us today. But when you compare her to supermodel Bella Hadid, who was born only a year before Williams, the difference is quite startling. Oh well, we guessed that if Bella had played Arya on Game of Thrones, we might think of her as younger too. Number 2, Meghan Markle and Britney Spears. Britney Spears has been called the Princess of Pop on many occasions, and honestly, we believe she's earned that title with album after album of chart-topping hits. Meghan Markle, on the other hand, is a real-life princess, having married Prince Harry, grandson of Queen Elizabeth II, the longest-ruling British monarch in history, known today as Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. Markle is the first person to hold that title, but despite all of Markle's amazing achievements, Britney's title as Princess of Pop remains and will remain undisputed. Number 3, Tobey Maguire and Christian Nairn. Tobey Maguire is one of those people who we wouldn't be surprised to discover has secret access to a fountain of youth. Born in 1975, Maguire is well over 40 by now, but somehow still seems to sport a fresh-faced, almost boyish look. Christian Nairn, who played Hodor on Game of Thrones, was also born that very same year. But the two look generations apart. Both are accomplished actors though, and Nairn can probably boast a more youthful lifestyle, considering that on top of his acting career, he's also a popular DJ. Number 4, Cardi B, age 18, Hyperiana, Mino, Illinois, Winston Churchill, and Cardi B, and Ariana Grande, which won Best Pop Divas, were only born a few months apart. Perhaps that's the reason many people are surprised to learn the two pop divas were only born a few months apart. Maybe it also has something to do with the fact that Ariana has grown up in the spotlight, having been featured in Nickelodeon productions since she was a child, while Cardi B only broke out in later life. Whatever the reason, we can agree on 2 things. They're both the same age, and both extremely talented. Number 5, Paul Rudd and Matthew Perry. Both Paul Rudd and Matthew Perry have had hugely successful careers playing comedic roles in front of the camera. Perry was, at one time, one of the highest-paid actors on television, thanks to his portrayal of Chandler Bing on Friends, while Paul Rudd has made a name for himself playing in all sorts of classic romantic comedies, including the likes of The 40-Year-Old Virgin, Anchorman, and Knocked Up, before going on to play the titular character in Marvel's Ant-Man. Today, both actors are over 50, but it seems like Rudd has somehow managed, like his Marvel character, to trick time and remain eternally youthful. Number 6, Halle Berry and Cynthia Nixon. Both Halle Berry and Cynthia Nixon were huge stars during the late 90s and early 2000s. Nixon is perhaps most famous for her portrayal of Miranda Hobbs in HBO's cult television series Sex and the City, while Berry has won so many awards and accolades for her acting work that it would be impossible to name them all. Since the early 2000s, though, the paths of these two women have diverged. While Berry continues to act, Nixon has turned to a different career path, and in 2018 has become a major player in the Democratic Party. Number 7, Jared Leto, 1971, and Ben Affleck, 1972. Believe it or not, but both Jared Leto and Ben Affleck are the same age. Perhaps this is fitting, considering Affleck is the most recent actor to play Batman, while Leto's Suicide Squad Joker is one of his most recent roles. Both Affleck and Leto are accomplished actors, but the two are also gifted in other fields. Leto's band 30 Seconds to Mars is a critical and commercial success, having sold over 15 million albums worldwide, while Affleck has shown he's just as talented behind the camera as he is in front of it, having won an Academy Award for Best Picture for the film Argo, which he directed, co-produced, and starred in. Number 8, Scarlett Johansson, aka 1984, and Anna Kendrick, aka 1995, appearing in the Broadway musical High Society when she was just 13, before she moved on to film, where she took part in hugely successful franchises like Pitch Perfect and The Twilight Saga. Perhaps because of her perky and upbeat personality, we don't often think of her as an actress in the same age category as Scarlett Johansson, but the two were actually born less than a year apart. Number 9. Samuel L. Jackson, 1948, and Richard Gere have been consistently acting in blockbuster after blockbuster since the mid-'80s, at least. Whether it's Pretty Woman, Pulp Fiction, Captain America, or Chicago, both actors seem to have aged gracefully and show no signs of letting up or slowing down. Today, Jackson is probably best known for his portrayal of Nick Fury in Disney's hugely successful Marvel film franchise, while Gere has opted to play in smaller, artistic films. Number 10. Jennifer Lopez and Renee Zellweger, 1969. Jennifer Lopez and Renee Zellweger have also both gone on to have startling careers. By 2007, Zellweger had established herself as one of the highest-paid actresses in Hollywood, while Lopez's fifth studio album, Como Ama Una Mujer, which came out that same year, received the highest first-week sales for a debut Spanish album in the United States. Today, Zellweger can be found starring in the Netflix thriller anthology series What/If, while Lopez has diversified her career and can boast clothing lines, fragrances, a production company, and a charitable foundation to her name. Number 11. Madonna and Ellen DeGeneres, 1958. She is, after all, the undisputed queen of pop, but Ellen DeGeneres is one of those few rare individuals who can look at their life and say they've accomplished just as much. So perhaps it's fitting that they were both born on the same year, 1958. It's hard to believe that both women are both over 60, but that just goes to show that age is, truly, nothing but a number. Number 12. Sandra Bullock and Wanda Sykes. Both Sandra Bullock and Wanda Sykes were born in 1964, but while Bullock was already a huge star by the early 90s, it took Sykes a while longer to find her audience and break through. Still, by 1999, Sykes had won an Emmy for her work as a writer on The Chris Rock Show, and by 2004, Entertainment Weekly had named her as one of the 25 funniest people in America. Since then, she's appeared on hugely successful shows like The New Adventures of Old Christine, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and ABC's Blackish, on which she still appears today. Number 13. Pharrell Williams, 1973, and Idris Elba, 1972, for the glass silver icon of his father. Pharrell Williams may be famous for his smooth-faced, boyish looks as much as he is for his music. But don't be fooled. He was born just a year after the rugged, somber-looking British heartthrob and hopeful future James Bond actor, Idris Elba. While Elba is best known for his acting work, he is also, like Williams, a musician, DJ, and rapper, and both have performed at Coachella, one of the biggest music festivals in the world. Number 14. Kylie Jenner and Chloe Grace Moretz. Kylie Jenner and Chloe Grace Moretz have a lot in common. Both were born in 1997, which makes them both astonishingly young, considering the huge body of work they've both managed to accumulate behind them. Even considering Chloe Grace Moretz has been acting since she was 6 years old. Over the years, she appeared in classics like Desperate Housewives, 500 Days of Summer, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. While Jenner, who started out appearing in Keeping Up with the Kardashians when she was 10, has since gone on to found her own cosmetics company, Kylie Cosmetics, and become one of the youngest billionaires in history. Thomas Brodie Sangster, 1991. Number 15. What do Ed Sheeran and Thomas Brodie Sangster have in common? Well, they're both English. They both appeared in Game of Thrones, with Brodie Sangster playing the recurring role of Jojen Reed, and Sheeran playing an extra in the 7th season premiere episode, Dragonstone. And they were both born in 1990. Believe it or not, but Brodie Sangster is nearly 30, which perhaps explains how he was able to lend the character of Jojen, who is less than half that age, such a somber, knowledgeable air. Number 16. Adele and Emma Stone need no introduction. Both have been recognized and hailed as unique, mature, and impactful voices in their respective fields, with Adele considered one of the greatest singers in contemporary music, while Stone is highly regarded as an actress. Both of them, too, were born in 1988, and both had their major career breakthroughs around the year 2007, with Stone making her feature film debut in Greg Mottola's comedy Superbad, and Adele making her television debut performing Daydreamer on the BBC's unsubscribed Cure. With Jules Holland, since then, both talents have catapulted to amazing heights, and their careers show no sign of stopping anytime soon. Number 17. Emilia Clarke and Lindsay Lohan, the 2011 Harry Potter movie Emilia Clarke and Lindsay Lohan. It may seem odd since Emilia Clarke has only been in the public spotlight since 2011, when she landed her breakthrough role of Daenerys Targaryen in HBO's Game of Thrones, while Lindsay Lohan has been gracing the screen since the mid-1990s. But both talented actresses were actually born in the same year, 1986. Lohan has been acting since she was a young child, and by the time she was 18 and playing the lead role in Mean Girls, she was a teen icon. But Clarke has, since then, picked up the slack, and today both actresses are widely regarded as huge talents in their field. Number 18. Bruno Mars and Dave Franco, in 1985, and both started seriously pursuing their respective careers in 2006 when they were both 21. Franco, following his older brother James, started acting in 2006 on the CW drama television series Seventh Heaven, while Bruno Mars moved around that time from his native Honolulu, Hawaii, to Los Angeles. Today, Franco is probably best known for his work on The Disaster Artist and the Lego Ninjago movie, while Mars can boast several #1 hits, including his internationally successful collaboration with Mark Ronson, Uptown Funk. Number 19. Jim Parsons, Johnson, 1973, and Dwayne Johnson, the 1972 luminary in the Sheldon Cooper Parsons. Number 19. Who would you say is more famous? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Both have had intensely successful careers, with Parsons being called the world's highest paid TV actor by Forbes in 2018, and Johnson being consistently ranked as one of the world's highest paid actors ever, even making it into Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world list in both 2016 and 2019. Whichever side you choose to come down on, you should probably know that the two actors were born just a year apart. Johnson was born in 1972, while Parsons in 1973. Number 20. Chuck Norris and Michael Gambon, aka the Man from Tuesday, sometimes staying as a summer boy and other times. If you had to do a double take on this one, it would definitely understandable. We're used to thinking about Michael Gambon playing the wizened old Dumbledore in the Harry Potter film series, while Chuck Norris, for most of us, will always be Walker, Texas Ranger, sidekicking bad guys into oblivion. Both were born in 1940, which means both of them are fast approaching the age of 80, and happily, both are still acting. Number 21. Sarah Hyland and Jennifer Lawrence, 1999. When most of us think about Sarah Hyland, her character of the young Haley Dunphy from Modern Family probably springs to mind. Jennifer Lawrence, on the other hand, probably conjures up images of Katniss Everdeen from The Hunger Games, Mystique from X-Men, or Tiffany Maxwell from Silver Linings Playbook, depending on what kind of movies you like to watch. When we mention both actresses together, however, what probably doesn't spring to mind is that they're both the same age. Hyland was born on November 24, 1990, while Lawrence was born on August 15 that same year. Number 22. Taylor Swift and Dakota Johnson. For many Taylor Swift fans, her age will always be, like her song, 22. Swift, whose romantic outlook on life, even in the face of multiple breakups, seems to always rely on some sort of never-ending youthful energy, feels worlds away from the dark world of the 50 Shades film franchise, of which Dakota Johnson is the star. Still, the two talented entertainers were both born in late 1989. Dakota Johnson was born on October 4, while Taylor Swift was born on December 13. Number 23. Elijah Wood and Chris Evans, 1981. Warning, spoiler alert. Chris Evans plays a very old Captain America. Somehow, despite only being 38 years old, his gravitas and wisdom seemed to fit the character perfectly, and we were entirely convinced he had lived well into his 90s. Compare and contrast that with Elijah Wood, who had first played the young Frodo Baggins in Peter Jackson's film adaptation of The Lord of the Rings, and, 11 years later, reprised the role without seemingly aging even a day in 2012's The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. Put these two men next to each other and they seem to be generations apart, but they were in fact both born in 1981. Number 24. Michael Fassbender and Orlando Bloom in 1977 pairing. Michael Fassbender is a wildly celebrated actor, but is perhaps best known to wide audiences as Magneto in the X-Men movies. His world-weary and learned stage persona lends a lot of credibility to the character, so it may surprise some viewers to know that he and the fresh-faced Orlando Bloom, who played Legolas in the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies, are actually the same age. Both were born in 1977 and are actually past 40. Number 25. Brad Pitt and Quentin Tarantino, two of the biggest names in Hollywood today. Brad Pitt and Quentin Tarantino were born only 9 months apart. To fans of the genius director, this may come as a surprise. Tarantino and Pitt have worked together on several films, including the recently released Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But most people don't really think of them being the same age. Still, both were born in 1969, although Tarantino was born in March, while Pitt was born in December. Number 26. Patrick Dempsey, 1966, and Ben Stiller, 1965 in Ben Stiller. Stiller is mostly known for his comedic roles, having played such iconic characters as Derek Zoolander on Zoolander and Tug Speedman in Tropic Thunder, while Dempsey is best known for his role as neurosurgeon Derek McDreamy Shepherd in Grey's Anatomy. The two actors vary wildly in tone, style, and some might think age, but in fact the two were only born 2 months apart, with Stiller being born in late 1965 and Dempsey in early 1966. Number 27. Mayim Bialik and Angelina Jolie. Mayim Bialik and Angelina Jolie seem to inhabit almost entirely different realities at first, until you realize that they are both strong, assertive women who subvert all expectations and stereotypes. Both were born in California in 1975 and both started acting at a young age. For Bialik, Her breakout role was as the title character of the NBC sitcom Blossom between the years 1991 and 1995, while Jolie's big break came with a leading part in 1995's Hackers. Since then, both women have continued acting, but have also pursued other passions, with Jolie becoming one of the most high-profile humanitarians in the world today, and Bialik earning a doctoral degree in neuroscience. Number 28. Michael Cera and Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, aka The Mountain. Michael Cera has made a name for himself playing gentle, wholesome, timid characters, like his breakout part as George Michael in Arrested Development and Scott Pilgrim in Scott Pilgrim Visas the World. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, on the other hand, is anything but gentle. A professional strongman, Bjornsson is the first person to have won the Arnold Strongman Classic, Europe's strongest man and world's strongest man in the same calendar year, and continued to express his fierceness on screen by playing Gregor the Mountain Clegane in the HBO series Game of Thrones for 5 seasons. Surprisingly enough, the two men, despite their physical differences, were both born in 1988. Number 29, Miley Cyrus and Daisy Ridley. Both Miley Cyrus and Daisy Ridley were born in 1992, but perhaps because we didn't get to see Ridley growing up on screen like we saw Miley during her Hannah Montana days, many of us often assume Ridley is older. While Cyrus has been working since she was around 10 years old, Ridley's career was launched only recently, after she landed the role of Rey in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, starting with Star Wars The Force Awakens. Still, both women are hugely talented, and both have their careers well ahead of them. We can't see where they both head next. Number 30. John Krasinski and Jason Momoa. Most of us know John Krasinski thanks to his work on The Office, in which he portrayed the beloved Jim Halpert. Jason Momoa, on the other hand, got his start playing much fiercer roles, like that of the title protagonist of Conan the Barbarian in 2011. And later that year, the part of Khal Drogo on the first season of Game of Thrones. And more recently, Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, in the 2018 blockbuster Aquaman. While the two men bring very different energies to the screen, one thing they have in common is their birth year, 1979. Number 31. Gwen Stefani and Cate Blanchett, 1969. This pairing really threw us. Did you know that Gwen Stefani, that's right, the Ain't No Hollaback Girl, and Cate Blanchett, known for her award-winning work on films like The Aviator, Blue Jasmine, Notes on a Scandal, and Elizabeth the Golden Age, were both born in 1969, making them both over 50? It may be a little difficult to reconcile this, because both women seem, for lack of a better word, well, timeless, but it's true. Number 32. Nikolaj Coster-Waldau and Nick Offerman, 1973 to 1970, and Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones have in common. No, they weren't played by the same actor, but the actors who played them, manly icons Nick Offerman and Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, respectively, were born exactly 1 month apart. Coster-Waldau was born on July 27, 1970, while Nick Offerman was born on June 26 that same year. Number 33. Alison Brie and Elizabeth Moss, 1982. Elizabeth Singleton Moss began acting in the early 1990s and first gained recognition for playing Zoe Bartlett, President Josiah Bartlett's youngest daughter, in the NBC drama The West Wing. She later landed the role of Peggy Olson on Mad Men, and later won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series and Outstanding Drama Series for producing and starring in the Hulu dystopian drama series The Handmaid's Tale. She has, as you can tell, a penchant for darker, more serious roles, which is why it may strike some as odd that she is in fact the same age as Community, BoJack Horseman, Glow, and Lego Movie favorite Alison Brie. But both women were in fact born in 1982. Number 34. Keanu Reeves and Nicolas Cage. 1964. There's a long-running internet meme claiming Nicolas Cage is a vampire due to his seemingly unaging face over the decades of his acting career. There is also a similar rumor about Keanu Reeves, for similar reasons. So it's a little uncanny that both men, who also somehow play similar types on screen, were born in the same year, 1964. Of course, neither man is immortal, but some of the coincidences do make us wonder, even if only for a second. Number 35. Blake Lively and Ellen Page. It's hard to imagine, but both Ellen Page and Blake Lively, who were two of the most talented actresses working in Hollywood today, were actually born in the same year, 1987, and started working as actresses in the same year too, 1997. Since then, both actresses have landed major roles and made major marks on the film industry. Page has worked with directors like Woody Allen, while Lively has starred as Serena Vanderwoodson in the CW drama television series Gossip Girl, as well as in lead roles in movies like The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, The Shallows, and A Simple Favor. Number 36. Martin Freeman and Sacha Baron Cohen, 1971 and 71. Be it Bilbo Baggins in Absurd Situations, be it Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit, or Dr. Watson in Sherlock. His ability to keep a straight face and time his dry, snappy comments perfectly help turn unreasonable situations his characters find themselves in into comedic masterclasses. Sacha Baron Cohen, on the other hand, has a knack for creating absurdity, turning even the most reasonable situation into an unusual one within seconds. It seems like both English actors are two sides of the same coin, so we guess it makes sense that they were both born in the same year, 1971. Number 37. Kate Upton is one of the most successful models in the world today, having graced the covers of countless magazines and led several high-profile advertising campaigns. Selena Gomez is a singer, actress, and producer who's been working in the entertainment business from a very young age, having first started in Barney and Friends, and since then climbed her way up to superstardom. Both superstars are actually quite young, having both been born in the summer of 1992, and we can't wait to see where their fruitful careers take them to next. Number 38. Elle Fanning and Bella Thorne. Mary Elle Fanning, who was born in 1998, had her breakthrough role in 2011 when, at the age of 13, she starred as Alice Daynard in J.J. Abrams' science fiction film Super 8, for which her performance was praised by critics and earned her a Spotlight Award at the Hollywood Film Festival. Since then, she's appeared in leading roles in the films We Bought a Zoo, Ginger and Rosa, and Maleficent, in which she portrayed Princess Aurora. A few months before Fanning was born, in late 1997, another successful actress also came into the world, Annabella Avery Thorne, better known as Bella Thorne. Both young actresses are considered by many to be Hollywood's next big thing, and we follow their career developments closely. Number 39. Jimmy Kimmel and Anderson Cooper, 1967 to 1973. While Cooper has channeled this talent to his journalistic calling, Kimmel has used it to become one of the most successful talk show hosts in history. Both men were born in 1967, but despite both of their highly successful careers, Time magazine has placed only one of them on their list of the world's 100 most influential people. Which of the two? Well, Kimmel, of course.